Okay.
Hey, like,
Hi. Hello.
hey,
Good evening, everybody. Sorry for the delay. We were
yes,
doing everything. So it was just a lot of shit. But
yes.
to put it succinctly. Anywho, you know who we are. If not, we are the Melanated Council.
Wait,
We stream here
yeah,
on the device that you're looking at. We stream there every Tuesday night around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you're watching us and it's not either of those times, then you're wrong. Anyways,
yes,
yeah. So we apologize. We're sorry for starting so late.
yes.
Um, we usually try to, not do that, but life happens, and there's only so much we can control.
Mm.
And as always, please like, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Our friend Toby will be joining us shortly. Like, he's just like all of us. We were just dealing with a lot of technical difficulty.
Still a lot of crap.
Yes, it was just one of, it was just one of those days. It just was like, oh my
It
goodness.
literally was. It literally was.
Yeah.
I feel like Monica when she said it's just one of them days I just want to feel all alone. Like, Monica, I understand why you made those lyrics.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it. I know it may look like Ron and I are in the same house, and we're clearly using the same background, kind of as a joke.
Yes,
Because StreamYard gives you like a couple of like default backgrounds, and this is one of them. Hey, Mish.
hey, Mish.
So
Yeah,
I was like, Ron decided to use the background. I was like, hey, I recognize that background.
like
But
why not? For kicks and giggles, why
ex-
not?
exactly, because we haven't had a lot of laughs lately
Yes.
because I don't know of everything in life.
Why? I'm done. Nope. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done playing around. I'm done. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it.
I'm surprised that mine is like doing the background thing pretty well because that's like considering I don't have like a green screen or anything. It was just like, no, we're gonna like we got you.
Yeah. Mine's is no. Mm-mm. It don't got me at all.
I
I'm
know I
trying
got
to
like
tell you. You like the fireplace in the background?
yeah, I was gonna say like the Steinway, like the grand piano. I think it's called a Steinway, right?
Yeah.
It's a piano, right?
Right there. Though I
Mhm.
pluck on the strings every now and then just to kind of get a jolt, just just because. Do not ask me to play Beethoven's Fifth because I will sound terrible at it. Any piano, whatever, no, nope, not coming from me.
That's pretty accurate, Jed. That's you know your
Yeah,
house.
yeah, and as you can tell, the sectional there, it doesn't wrap around. It gets split between the two coffee tables, and then
Mm.
okay, no, wait, yeah, a coffee table, and then on the other side of the coffee table, like a half a chair. I'm blocking the other half of the chair, and the sectional continues there. Yes,
The infinity money cheat. That's funny.
yes. Mother
But yeah,
load times 20.
once you get like the VR headset, then you can actually be in the house. You know,
Ooh.
the house you spent so much time, building. Oh, capitalism. That's the only way to. to where is, oh God, no. That's true. I know this is a very free.
Yes. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I feel like we should explain the name actually, because our episode's called "Wanna Chip In." It's not about money, surprisingly. We're
Not at
actually
all.
going to be talking about microchipping. So we're asking if you'd want a chip inside you. I can start getting that Twitch money. I don't know. So why are we? That's a good question. I feel like we should have been. I feel like we should have been affiliate by now, but I guess I don't know. I feel like we're close. Hey, Liz.
Hey, Liz.
Yeah. So what's up?
I was going to see how close we are. Just due to the fact that Mish brought up a very good point. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Is there a way to check that?
Yep, I am checking on it right now. And so at least that way, we can gauge ourselves. We can get that Twitch money because there's a lot of money floating around on Twitch. I mean, a lot of money floating around on Twitch. So, no, stop it. Crap. Okay, go there. I swear, I'm telling you guys, I know I've done this before. I've done this before plenty of times. I'm not a noob at this. I'm not a noob.
Like figuring out if you're how close you are to affiliate.
Yeah, like I said, I know where it's at. Trust me, I know where it's at. Okay, so we got we got some achievements. Nice, nice. Achievements is always good.
Oh yeah.
Achievements is always good. Um, okay, so we got two out of the four knocked out the park.
Okay, so we're halfway there.
Yes, we are halfway there. We are almost there. Almost there. Look out, Twitch, because we're coming there. Almost there.
there.
Yes.
I think I've only seen that movie once. Yeah, I just didn't like how she was a frog for like 90% of the movie. I was like, oh, they did us wrong. They did us wrong. The robot pickup line.
No, the one above it.
Does the chip give you superpowers or not? I mean, I guess it depends on, I don't know, define superpowers. Like, to give you the ability to like not lie about your medical records is, I guess, a superpower. So it's like if you just, for whatever reason, forget you're allergic to penicillin, at least you'll have that.
Whoops.
Or I know that there are cases of like microchips in like different countries where they use it for like payment. Like I've seen, like quite a few years ago, I seen like a video about that, and I was just like, that seems a little unnecessary. Like it looks like they were like at a restaurant or like a nightclub rather, and I don't know, like the customers were just like eating something, and like the servers would just go and like scan their arm to just so they can pay for the thing, and I was like, that's a little excessive. Like that's a little unnecessary. Like, okay, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No one can stop.
All the way up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Portable medical. No, that's not a strong enough. I know it's. So I feel like it's weird how the medical field doesn't seem to have like a central like network of just everyone's shit. Like that drives me absolutely insane. Like if I could go to one Honda, like Honda dealership to get my car serviced, and then go to another one and like they know and they have all the records and this is my car. Like you would think that there would just be like one central hub of just oh, L is at her like primary care physician now, but she went to the dentist a month ago. Is she on medication from the dentist? You know, or something like that. I don't know. Or like they should at least have like, oh, the dentist prescribed her something and
Mm-hmm.
that's there. It's like, okay, so I know not to prescribe her this because that mixed with that will have like a bad reaction. Because there's a possibility that
Mm-hmm.
whatever my doctor prescribed me is probably going to have some weird ass funky name. And it'd be like, it's like, oh, what did the dentist prescribe you? It's like, I don't know, amoxidiltrophylline. Like, how the fuck would I like like remember that? That's not. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but that's just a mixture of a ton of similar like doctor like prescription word shit. Technology.
I'm telling you, that one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I don't know. Like it would be practical to just have like some sort of central hub,
Mm-hmm.
but because that would also help, like even like with like insurance, because there's even something like with my dentist where, so like my company, like I've been at the same company for 3 years now, but they merged with another company. And like even though our benefits are still the same, like there was like a minor change in like a couple of like in a few things, like even though like within the same like healthcare provider.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dental records like changed and they were like, oh, who are you under? I was like, Aetna. And they're like, oh, like that's not quite it because there's like a dental thing for whatever fucking reason. Like, you know, like how there's like an eye doctor thing, there's like a dental
Mm-hmm.
thing. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. Like, look me up via my birthday and name or whatever the hell you gotta do, because I know I have insurance. So, and then they were like, and I couldn't, and I had to like pay because like they couldn't find me, and I was like fucking annoying. And then like they eventually found
Wow.
me, and it's like I gotta make sure that they like paid me back. So I still don't even know. Fortunately, it wasn't like that expensive. It was like 150 for the check. I was like, okay, that's, you know, I'd rather not pay that, but at least it wasn't like 500 or $1,000 for the fucking bullshit, because it was just like a regular checkup cleaning.
Right.
But it was just like, it's like, why can't I just have like a central thing for like look me up by my first name, my last name. Here's just a list of everything. But no, but like, would I want a microchip for that? No. Like that's, I can understand the microchip benefit like when you're like in your 80s and 90s and like, you know, you may have had like a stroke and you can't talk, or you're just so disabled that you know you can't really do anything, so you can't really have like, you know, or you can't remember everything that you need or everything that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We gotta have Medicare for, no, absolutely, Chad, I agree. Like I feel
Right.
like that's the only way that could happen, because then they because they just keep all your information locked up, which is so fucking annoying and so bass backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It does, and it doesn't even have to be. Like, people are just arguing about it for no reason. Like, well, we can't have this. Blah blah. It's like, why the fuck not? Look at all the other shit we have. You think we can't? It's like, we're like the richest country in the world, or at least one of. And all the other countries, even some poor ass countries, still manage to do that. Yet we just can't for some reason. Most record systems we have. I'm the only one I can think of that's elitist FICO. Here it comes.
I mean, got a point there.
It's true.
You got a point there. You definitely got a point there.
It's true, because that's like definitely like, yeah, that's exactly, it's a record system, and like they pull in, like your student loans and like, like your mortgage and credit card, and that one time you signed up for a Macy's credit card because it would give you like 10% off of a mattress, and then you totally forgot about it. But they will remember, like, but, like, oh shit, I could have sworn I paid this off. It's like, no, it's still open. It's like, well, I don't use it anymore. Even with a chip, if info isn't entered correctly, it'll be messed up anyway. True. That's a good point. I guess if, like they manage to correct it, then it'll just always be corrected. So that's a plus. Like, nothing is perfect, but that would be hella problematic, though. So, where they just watch people not get healthcare in real time. These are the amount vaccine records being entered in your phone. Oh yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's like people, a certain people, are very weird about privacy. You don't even know it's true. It's very true. And I'm all for privacy. It's just sort of weird when you suddenly can't be private about, medical abortions. That's just like, you suddenly can't be private about that. But they went all 1776 is gonna happen again. Yeah, I don't know why they want 1776 to happen so badly. So,
Okay.
So, good news, everybody. Our special guest is here. You know him from the comment section and in Discord and on YouTube. And he has a podcast called the Guil Podcast. And if you haven't guessed already, our special guest is Guil himself.
Right there.
Hey.
That content. Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
We're doing good. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep. Can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, perfect. Guil.
So what I missed?
We're just talking a little bit about. So this episode is about your topic, which you just brought in, about the microchipping. And
okay.
Yeah. Hence the cute pun. Want to chip in? If you actually want to chip in you.
I still stand by my opinion about it being a good thing, because we're able to because I want to play the devil advocate for this episode, because I naturally am opposed to it because it's wrong. But thinking about the benefits, such as being able to figure out if you're sick or if you're about to deal with some illness that you're not aware of. Like, for example, can you imagine, if Kevin Samuels had a chip and his blood levels were rising his doctors or loved ones would have been notified that, hey, there's something that entered his bloodstream that is foreign. So prior to him dying, his XYZ was elevated by some type of point, and the chip will serve as a black box for humans, like the airplane black box. So the chip will be something like that, if that makes sense.
I'll be honest. I don't think I'm familiar with the black box in airplanes.
So a black box in an airplane is the last coordinates, the last inputs, the last anything that might have happened or hinted to why the airplane crashed. So that's the thing that they look
Oh,
for when the airplane crashed. It looks for the black box. So when they find the black box, they can tell, okay, what malfunctioned, why did it malfunction, and it kind of gives everybody an idea of what happened.
gotcha. Oh, okay. Now that makes a lot of sense.
Where's
I
Toby?
am. He is. I think he's on his way home. Like he was on like prior to when we started for like a bit. But yeah, I think he's on his way home. So he's gonna be on. He's gonna be joining us probably in the next like 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my stance on the chip. To me, it's like the best overall way for us to tell if we're getting adequate sleep, to tell if we're actually tired, because there's a whole thing where people tend to like say, oh, black people, they're super strong, they're super they love working. But can you imagine if there's a chip that's saying, hey, this person exceeded their workload for the week, they're actually tired? Or I mean, it's just so many different ways that it can actually show that somebody's actually sick and what's wrong with them.
True. So
I
it's
mean,
like
yeah.
I guess it's like sort of similar to like Apple Watches or like where
Yeah.
like they track a lot of things and like really do help people. But yeah, Ron, what were you gonna say?
Mark of the beast.
Um, I saw that too. I chuckled. I'm like, okay, but no, but what I was thinking is especially what Gil said. Like, I do see those benefits because even if you got somebody who's overworked and they tell you that they're overworked, and even the chip, it says like, yes, this person has been getting 2 hours of sleep, is working 18 hours a day, going is strong for about 60, 70 plus hours a week. Yes, this person needs a rest. This person needs a break. This person needs a day off. Matter of fact, give this person a paid week off and just say, hey, sit down and
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much just recuperate. And that will that would at least let the employers know, like, hey, we probably need to rethink the way how we work. We need to
Yep.
rethink how people are not just disposable, that people have feelings too, that people are just hardworking individuals who's just trying to make a living, trying to make sure families are taken care of, trying to make sure that they themselves are taken care of, and
Mm-hmm.
have a decent place to stay. But if they can't enjoy their hard work, but they're always working, they're going to burn out. You know,
Yep.
they're going to burn out. And so, in that aspect, that's where I kind of see where it will actually come into play and actually cause employers to rethink work and actually literally put an emphasis on work-life balance.
Yeah. And that's something where it could be easily identifiable, where if you're actually sick, I mean, it could actually be a double-edged sword for employers and the employee where, hey, I had a headache. All right, let's run your chip records. It'd be something kind of like an invasion of privacy in a way, but overall, if you're actually sick, you can actually show, hey, this is my symptoms. Here are the records.
Man, are we really like that? Just seems so fucking dystopian, though, because it's just like, oh, how much can you work? How much can I get out of you? You know, it's like, because like a chip can't measure mental health, though. You know, it's like it can't measure when you can't really. It could sort of measure burnout, but I don't know. Like burnout's different with like everybody, though.
This is true.
So you know, like that's different, and you know, people experience different levels of burnout at different times. Like, you know, some people can work 10 hours a day, 5 days out of the week for 3 months, and then that's when they experience burnout. And other people, you know, like 8 hours a day for 3 weeks, and that's when they experience burnout. So, you know, it's like that. I feel like everything is always just used for evil at the end of the day. So it's like, oh, you could probably put on your resume now. It's like, oh, it takes me 3 months, or it takes me how many hours to experience burnout. It's like, oh, well, let's hire her because other person, you know, gets burnt out in 1 month. So. You can measure PMS for sure. It depends on the time of the month. Yeah. I mean, they already have like flow tracker apps, and you know, it depends on what the chip can measure. If it can measure like hormonal changes, and you know, like within, you know, the body, like men actually experience more hormonal changes than women. Fun fact.
Yeah, I think so. I have like these crazy moods. It's power.
It's shut up. Anyway, but like it is actually possible to you could possibly measure that. Sometimes I wonder if like Twitter or anything can like measure when I'm like PMSing, or you know, if it's that time of the month or anything, because I notice when I'm acting really fucking different.
I think so, because you know, either the how much you open the app, how much are you about to type, deleting, how many tweets go into your drafts. There's a way to count that.
True. Use the Richter scale.
Oh, that is funny.
Effects of Earth. Wow, Chad. Wow.
But do you guys personally see a good reason for the chip?
Yeah. Even though I feel like it sort of goes against like my, you know, religious side. There's just I do see the benefits of it, and like, you know, people do get microchip now. I remember my aunt who's an RN, like she spoke about, like she told me about it like years ago, probably like, geez, when the hell was this even? Probably like 2013, 2014, I don't know. It was years ago. Like she was telling me about this, and some people get microchipped, you know, for you know, for like different reasons. But like sometimes like the microchipping is really important to, you know, figure out like the medical records and everything. You're drunk.
Yeah. That makes sense.
No, I agree. Yeah. No, I agree with you, Rocky.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good idea because they micro. This is gonna sound shitty, but like a weird comparison, but they do microchip dogs quite
Mhm.
often. That's almost normal, and they use it to help find missing dogs and things like that. So it's actually a good point.
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I can see that one coming
Mhm.
into play, just due to the fact that you have people coming up missing from human trafficking almost every other day, every other month, every other year,
Mhm.
and you know, well, you know where the last place this individual was seen. And since then, it almost feels as though that person or group of people have fell off the edge of the earth. And it's like, where have they gone? Like, where are they at now? Have you seen this person? Have you seen this child? Have you seen these group of children? You know, and it's it's hard to track them because again, they grow older. Their facial features, for the most part, tend to change,
Mhm.
and hair tends to change. Like a lot of things tend to change, and it's hard to tell if they're the same person or not, unless you know you're the parent or guardian over said person that was lost or missing, and you know, like, okay, I know this is so and so because so and so has a crossbite that's been with them since they were a baby, or not since a baby, since they were like toddlers. You know, they've always had a crossbite. You
Mhm.
know, or so and so has a mark on their on their left cheek, and the mark is like a thunderbolt. You know, something distinguishable between that person and only that other person knows about. You know, if anybody else looks at it, oh yeah, no, whatever. But that person can
Mhm.
identify, like, you know, that marking like a thunderbolt. It came from they were playing around the glass table and they fell through. You know, you got that. And so with the chip, at least hopefully the chip doesn't change. It just records all the information that's related to that person and be able to figure out, okay, this person was taken from, let's say, New Jersey and found this person all the way out in some weird town in Idaho, you
Mhm.
know, just relaxing. Or this person was taken from Minnesota and was found all the way over in Amsterdam because
Mm.
because of sex trafficking. You know, in that aspect, I can see it where in that aspect, I can see where the benefits will basically help, um, where the benefits outweigh a lot of the negativity and everything else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where would the chip be implanted?
That's the thing behind the ear, somewhere not noticeable. Honestly, in the Bible, as Elizabeth hinted, it'll
It's down
probably
here.
be in the
Mhm.
hand, because in the
Right.
Book of Revelation, it's in the palm.
Right.
So they said that. Well, to quote the Bible, it's pretty much you won't be able to buy, sell, or do anything
Mhm.
without
Mhm.
this chip, and
Mhm.
we already have it now with our debit cards. Like you literally tap to pay for whatever, it's there. I
Mhm.
mean, we have our phones. Essentially, it's a chip. All we have to do is make it a little bit more um, readily available and non-toxic to our human body, to the point where
Mhm. Mhm.
we can
Mhm.
airdrop. You know what I'm saying, with our bodies essentially. And it's to me as a tech person, it's beautiful. But me as a removed religious person who came from the church and who doesn't really follow religious views now, but still has that
Mhm.
background,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm. Mhm.
scary to think that things that I was preaching about years ago is now happening. But I'm a tech
Mhm.
person, so something that makes your life easier is always going to be something that I can advocate for. But if it's
Mhm.
something that I preached against growing up, where it's like the mark of the beast, it's just still ringing in the back of my head that this is quite diabolically evil, you know.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, go ahead, Ron.
I was gonna say to Liz's point, like I agree because I have a metal allergy, like a really weird metal allergy. Like it was funny too because when I was working in the manufacturing business and being surrounded by metal a lot, like are you like yeah, I got a metal allergy. Like then why are you working here for? Like because a lot of times my body is covered up to the point where I don't have to worry about it as much. And even then, with me sweating a lot, that was my big concern. Like, okay, if I do sweat while working this manufacturing business, like, will I break out in a rash? And thankfully, no. But again, like with Liz, I can't really wear earrings. I can't wear chains. Like my belt buckles, I would have to tuck in my shirt so my belt buckle doesn't rub against my skin because it breaks out to a rash. And so even my ring for the most part, I can't wear certain rings. I can't because the metal in the rings tend to break me out. So I'm like very, very picky when it comes to that. Even watches, I can't wear watches because the stainless steel that's on the back of most watches, it breaks me out.
Mm.
It breaks me out. So it's like, I'm screwed.
Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll have something where it's like um, tested with a bunch of what do you call those little tester people, and they will find some non-toxic metal. There's so many different metals that can be used to be bent and inserted into the human body. So I feel
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
they will take out all those quirks and stuff. And I feel like if you don't get this chip or something that comes down the line, they would make it really hard for you to even like do anything. Like think about it right now. Like it's really hard for you
Hmm.
to even live without being on the internet. It's hard for you to
Hmm.
live without being on the electric grid. We quite literally have the chip now. It's just not in the sense that we're thinking about it because you can't just buy a house and buy land. You need to get on the grid, the electric grid. You can't just start a business now. You have to, uh, have it registered a specific way, have it billed out, have a bank account. So we basically have the chip now. It's just not the way that we're thinking about, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Definitely agree. And even then, to your point too, as well, you look at the majority of the driver licenses that are coming out and how, in order for you to fly nowadays, you have to have like the real ID driver's license, or else you're not going to be able to fly. Which, and again, I was reluctant to get it because it's like, man, you mean to tell me that all of my basic information is going to be on the back of my driver license? They're like, for the most part, yeah. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah, like
that's
Chad is
yeah,
saying, like
yeah.
Chad said, I don't really see the selling point either. Like, there's no
Hmm.
selling. Uh, like, I don't see an influencer on YouTube. Get the chip, bro. No, I don't see it that way. I kind of see it as a slowly making it for our elderly people. Hey, you can take care of
Hmm.
grandma, make sure she's okay. You can check her vitals and stuff like that. That's how they'll
Mm.
like push it in a medical term. Or maybe if somebody's in the ICU, hey, let's put the chip on there to make it easier for you to monitor it remotely. Since you're like maybe in New Zealand, or your mom's in Denver,
Hmm.
Mhm.
Colorado, or something. That's how they'll push it. And then they will probably make it for kids going to school. Hey, your kids in school, you want to make sure that they're not bullied, their blood pressure is not rising, or they're not sick throughout the day. Monitor your kids with the chip. Start them when they're young. They'll have it till they're 18. Maybe they will take it off. Maybe they won't. I think it will just be something where it's like a worried parent or worried son or daughter. that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. And even then, to that point, it's more so like um, a non-invasive way to get people to take the chip. So it's going to be really interesting how it's going to roll out. Really interesting how it's going to roll out.
Yeah, Chad, I
Mm.
definitely believe you'll be helicopter parents. Um, yeah, definitely helicopter parents because those are the people. There's a Black Mirror episode about that. A mother who
Mm.
implanted a chip in her daughter to like
Mm-hmm.
see everything, like see, hear, and feel everything. And the daughter felt like she had her privacy like invaded, so she removed the chip, and the chip pretty much blocked curse words, blocked like violence from happening, because this is helicopter parents, parents who are worried that their kid will be influenced by social media,
Mm-hmm.
by influenced by things in their neighborhoods. So I
Mm-hmm.
can definitely see helicopter parents getting their kids chipped.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be some benefits, sadly, but I see more downsides at this point.
I didn't do that. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I could definitely see that. You know, and and even in that latter part where you were talking about like somebody can get drugged and somebody can remove the chip. It was like I again, yeah, that'll be a very scary thing to happen, but at the same time, you know, we don't know. We don't know how it's going to roll out. But even then, even in the video clip that Guil posted in the Discord, if you guys haven't checked out that video, I suggest you check it out and basically just watch it all the way through. It does it does showcase where it could happen, when it could happen, and the usage of it. I mean, you figure like places like China, where they already have like automated pay stations, and they basically use your phone.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step to that? Okay, you'll go ahead and all your banking information and everything else would be in this chip, and you just swipe your hand over it, boom, you're done. You don't have to worry about even pulling out your phone. So it's just like there's a lot that's going on, a lot that's going on. And so it's just going to be very interesting as the years roll on, like how and when and what all this is going to look like.
Uh, I
Mm.
mean, it's scary though. Like when you think about it, like it seems cool, but it just seems like it's just going to alienate a whole lot of people, and I can see that happening because one thing I learned recently was, and it's pretty sad that I just learned this recently, is like there's like there's a lot of people, like especially in different countries, that don't have like a debit card, that don't have a bank card.
Yeah.
So, they're just still using cash and all that. That's why a lot of people, definitely gravitate towards Bitcoin because that's just, you have like a digital wallet, like, on your cell phone. So that's kind of like you're just being your own bank rather than getting a paycheck, going to the bank and then deposit it into a paycheck and into the bank and then getting a debit card that way.
Mm.
I never really like thought of it that way because since it's the norm here to do that, like I just assumed that's how it was like everywhere, but no, in most cases that's not the case at all.
Mm.
So
So,
yeah.
sorry. Chad said something and it triggered my brain. So hear me out. I'm a weird conspiracy theorist, right? I always, I
Let's
always
go.
thought, I always thought gyms, like working out gyms, were
Right.
some type of Illuminati scheme that absorbed human effort and human sweat to power some lizard brain monster in the middle of the earth, right? And
Okay.
thinking about the chip, since the brain itself is a computer, it's
Mhm.
essentially a supercomputer, like a what do you call that? A quad, a quantum computer, essentially, even more powerful. Hear
Hmm.
me out. Would you believe that if we all get chipped, we would probably be powering some computer wirelessly somehow, some supercomputer somewhere in our government or something like that, if we're all linked with this chip in a network?
Ooh,
Because we're
that's
all supercomputers. And if you know what mining is in Bitcoin, you'd have like multiple computers connected together to mine, to do a few calculations to get one Bitcoin. And that's what a server is, to make sure you can run your website properly.
yeah.
If a whole city of Fort Lauderdale has thousands of people chipped, could you quite literally use all those human powers together for some type of purpose? Yeah, some
Man,
type of
you
frequency.
make a very valid and interesting point. Very valid
Yeah,
and interesting point. Very
That was
valid
a
and
good
interesting point.
yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, it,
damn. I was like, because when you said gems are to the sweat powers like
I
the
always
lizard
think
brain.
that. I always like, why do you want us sweating in here?
It's like, I mean, Gil, if you don't want to go to the gym, just say that. But like,
I,
I'm kidding.
it's
I'm
just a
fucking with
weird idea that I always had.
you.
mm,
Like frequencies deployed through the chip. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. No. I see what Alana's saying
because
about we can definitely
because
manipulate it by. Yeah, that's true.
if you
That's
have an
true.
iPhone, right now, what Apple is doing, they're doing this little network thing, right? So if I
mm,
have an iPhone, my wife has an iPhone, my friend has an iPhone, we can literally share, there's a shared network there that we're not aware of. So if somebody loses a phone down the street from us and they're trying to track their phone, our three iPhones, including theirs, now become a network to allow them to find their missing phone. So now we become a signal, like an antenna, so that they can increase the
mm.
range, so they help them find their phones. That's something that's been implemented for like 2 years now. It's phenomenal. But thinking about it as a chip, where there's a missing children, there's somebody who collapsed, and your mom collapsed somewhere, you can now tap into the chip of everybody else around where your mom collapsed and find out where she is. That's pretty cool, but also could be used for evil.
For sure. For sure.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
No, to bring up Alana's point about like being manipulated by certain frequencies. That's just that's just like a really valid point because we're already getting manipulated now through ads and like what social media points to it, like what they want to show us and everything, and just from recent elections, especially from like 2015 and all that, we definitely see how people can be swayed. Like Mark Zuckerberg, like if you ever watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix, apparently like Mark Zuckerberg had like what they called like I think like a knob or something, where like he would be like, "Oh, I want 100,000 more users in South Korea," and he would just be able to just turn the knob, and it would happen. It's like a not a real knob, but sort of thing. So he was just able to do that, like like what's it called, Cambridge Analytica, I think, and
Yeah.
things like that were used to just sway and manipulate elections. It was insane how, like these group of people are just like, oh, you're going to give me money to make the world crumble? Okay. It's like, oh, you want the election to go that way? Okay. And they could just do that? So, like, hell yeah, absolutely. We'll, like, shit like that would definitely be used against us. And that's, like, fucked up. However, I do have some good news, something that definitely isn't fucked up.
Mhm.
Our third man of the trio, sorry, Guil, our third man of the trio is joining us.
Ah,
The only
Hey.
Toby, aka Smooth Dark Chocolate.
Chips Ahoy, mateys. It's good to be on. Thank you, Gil, for joining and taking my spot for a while I could not be on.
No problem. But that comment though.
My excuse to skip leg. I can't lift it. The lizard people are gonna harvest my sweat.
Perfect.
I should just work out at home from now on.
It's just a thought I've always had, like, especially at like UFIT. This is like $9. They're taking all our effort and sweat and like farming some lizard people spaceship or something.
Man, that's wild.
It might be
wow.
like, it's like if you
No.
know, it's like, oh, what's up, Iraqi?
That's wild.
Yeah, shared consciousness. Yeah, there's a whole lot that happened.
I don't think I stopped posting your 30. Oh my goodness. Yeah, what if you just accidentally, like, the frequency just accidentally hits your neighbor, or like
There's a movie with what's that kid from Spider-Man? He played a movie where every man on Earth, like men, can like project their consciousness without like them realizing, so they can project their thoughts, except women. So that's pretty cool. It was pretty interesting. So every man can just project their thoughts and ideas without even speaking.
Oh, Rick and Morty. That's kind of scary. I mean, were men's thoughts interesting, or could we just pretty much guess?
No.
There we have it.
Hey, Toby.
Hey, thank you guys for the love. Moving is a constant process. That's what I'll say about that. And it's a little hard to tell, but there's just an ungodly amount of boxes and other things. So get a nice little view of all the. Actually, this doesn't even look that bad compared to actually how much is going on. But it's fine. We move.
Okay. So this is your second move since we've been doing our stream, huh?
Technically, last week I didn't mention exactly where I was, but I was in a hotel because the apartments were playing games, so I had a temporary place. Now I'm in my actual apartment. So you guys get to see the lovely
Chaos Walking?
room for the next year.
Okay.
I think that's the name of the movie. Yeah, that's the name of the movie. It's really good.
Project their thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yeah, Tom Holland.
Oh, this is the new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So this must have been a recent movie.
Yeah, it came out last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up enough with like the movie scene, but apparently he's been putting in work. He's been in all these movies.
Yeah.
He was in Uncharted.
Rocky said it. They killed all the women left on the planet and left ones. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's no spoiler alert, but it's a good movie.
Okay. That sounds interesting. So, okay, so men could project their thoughts, and then they just kill the women. Okay. And then
It's really good. I liked it.
there you go. Next comes the femicide. Yeah. Oh boy. I know, right? Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe NASA and Elon Musk and all of them are up to something after all.
Well, Elon actually wants to do that. Elon wants to make the chip, and if he makes it, I actually will believe that it's for good, because Elon is all about the progression of human discovery and human advancement.
Real quick. No, yeah. Despite all the controversy and people's opinions, I do like. I remember one good article about him was saying how like the ventures he's taken are things that you would not really take if you're trying to be like a mad billionaire to take over the world, because you wouldn't expect to make money. Like SpaceX apparently is one of the worst financial ventures you could think of, but yet here we are, and he's doing well with it. Even Tesla and some of the other ones have a lot of rocky starts, but it's like, do you think this is going to benefit humanity? All right, let's throw money at it.
Yeah.
Still, like, it's dangerous territory we're getting into. And I know I missed a lot of the conversation, but I completely forgot about Neuralink. Facebook, of course, has their, like, Mark Zuckerberg, right around the time that Facebook was in a lot of controversy for the whole privacy, Cambridge Analytica, and then other breaches. Mark was like at some graduation in like 2018 or 2019, some commencement saying, let's beam our thoughts into each other. And it's like, oh, didn't we just like learn? Did we not learn anything about like the dangers of technology? But I'm like, I guess this is where we're going with the things. We're gonna beam our thoughts and read each other's emotions and vibrations. So might as well embrace it, I guess. Get on the good end of it before we have hostile countries or just people with not great interest to developing this technology for their own ends.
With the Neuralink, the thing that I kind of would not like is what Elon Musk described what it was, which is like we'll be able to talk without speaking. And I feel like there's so much beauty in when we speak that everybody has different cadences, everybody has different like accents and different ways of expressing themselves. So the neural link itself, where you can talk without talking and just have conversations without speaking to people, I wouldn't be down for that. But accessing information readily, like super, super fast, and storing information and memories, I'm all for that.
I mean, I do feel that I could freestyle a lot better in my head than when I actually say it out loud. So not being able to speak would benefit me in that way.
But here's the thing. I feel like it's like speaking and thinking are one and the same. And it's like if you stop doing one of them, I feel like it'll hurt the other. So if you just was solely in your head, like most manic people are, like they live in their heads and they don't speak, they're not able to effectively communicate because their mind is just like all over the place and they don't know how to communicate, show empathy, tonality, or just because like the idea is in your head, but then when you say it, you kind of like have so many filters, like your accent, your tone, just so many different things. Because I can think as many things as I want, but when I say it, it's so different.
True.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. No, that is true. It's a good point. But man, just to be able to, oh man,
Like
I feel
beam
like
your idea to like a barista. I want a venti. I know it's a venti, but I want a large. Caramel, and you don't have to say anything. You just walk into the Starbucks and they know what you want and you leave. That would be amazing.
yeah, I guess
But
like
also, I kind of feel like that'll be like internet cookies where you go to like Facebook and it says, hey, you want a caramel latte. You click the X. I think that'll be something similar to that, where you walk into a Starbucks and they just give you what you want. You're like, I want something else now.
Interesting. So it's like they can track. Oh, that is. I have to find the article that I saw recently talking about like it was actually kind of like really creepy advanced stuff about how like political campaigns could use some technology, but basically like you kind of like could track people's emotions almost by looking
Conspiracy guy's a keeper.
at
I guess so. The people have spoken.
I'll do all the conspiracy stuff.
B. Julia approves. It sounds like a nightmare of alienation. What I'm reluctant about, just to beam your thoughts into somebody else is that sometimes we have like some fucked up thoughts, and it's like, what if you accidentally just beam that thought into that person? It'd be like you just be going about your business, and then you see somebody, and then like they have a wooden leg, and you're just like, yo, what the fuck happened with his legs? Like, oh shit, what if you heard that?
But here's the thing. I feel like we can already beam our thoughts to people, and it's something that has been kind of like watered down and dumbed down. I feel like we used to be able to communicate without speaking in a way with vibes and energy, and I kind of feel like we've lost that. So I feel like we're kind of like always going backwards but forward at the same time. So with Neuralink, we'll be using technology instead of our, what do you call that piece of your brain that the melanin part of the brain that they were talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Amygdala?
Not the amygdala. I forget what it's called, but I kind of feel like we all have access to so much more, but we are walking with technology and the idea that we can't do something like that. Because you ever walked into a room where you've seen somebody like, oh, their vibe is off.
Yeah.
You're picking up on something, but we don't know what it is. We just say, hey, that's just a bad vibe. Or you go to a place, I'm getting a bad vibe out of this place.
Yeah.
Your body's picking up some type of signal from this environment, from this person, from this experience, and your body is essentially telling you to flee. There's so many different things that we've kind of evolved into as far as survival as human beings that we kind of like devolved from because of convenience and technology. So
interesting.
Mm.
No, I get the point, right? Yeah.
No, true. That's a good point. Like, so I guess, it'd be kind of interesting that if you have like, I guess like I'm imagining like the whole chips thing and also being able to like, I guess, see things, like as if it's like, like the Google Glass thing where you can sort of like see things. But like if that chip were to be able to like kind of do that, you could just like scan a room and be able to see the vibe and it'll be like,
augmented reality. Yeah, augmented reality is actually pretty good. I like that better.
That's true. I do like augmented reality as well. I was really excited about the whole Google Glass thing years ago, and then it just never really happened.
Yeah. Google Glass apparently found a home in academia, kind of like Microsoft Connect. There's a bunch of those tools that like were a little bit ahead of their time, couldn't get mainstream appeal, but academics eventually went crazy over the potential. And also, LOL to this.
First of all, Rocky, Elon Musk is an African American. Don't you dare call him an alien. He was born in Africa, and he's an American. Don't you dare insult him.
You're not wrong.
He's an African American.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember saying like all the African Twitter is now owned by an African American takes flying around. And I didn't see those takes, but I saw people like being critical, saying like, "Oh, people who were like, woe is me," because basically the whole implications. But yeah, that we already kind of went over the Elon and everything. But I think it is kind of funny because I never thought of that angle of like, oh wow, it is now owned by African American. Oh,
sure.
Right.
But there was. Oh, were you about to say? Oh,
I was just saying, Charlize Theron is an African American actress.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. That's why I don't like the term African American personally, because it's like
It is ridiculous.
I know,
Doesn't make
just
any sense.
say black.
Yeah.
It's less syllables.
That's true.
You know what it is. Like, you can't be like, as a British African American, how do you feel? It's like, no, you sound stupid as hell. Like, reporters have said that to like British athletes, like black British athletes.
British
like,
African American. Yikes.
It's like
That's only something in America.
exactly it is. Yeah.
Like when I see a black Greek, Giannis, what's his name? The Greek basketball player.
Yeah.
You never hear him say he's in black Greek. He's Greek.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I guess like the the black thing you kind of like see. It's like, oh, he's probably has some
Transhumanism.
He becomes cyborg so I can ghost in the show.
So the idea of transhumanism, hear me out here. Hear me out. I kind of believe in like the multiverse in a way where we're kind of essentially just living multiple different lives. And when we die, we kind of extract from this level and we go on to the next level with the experience that we've gained. So there's a type of game called rogue-like RPGs. So you get far in the game, and then when you die, you lose everything. And depending on the particular type of game, you kind of gain experiences from that previous playthrough. That's how I kind of like to look at life right now, where it's like we're living life, but when we pass, we go on to the next one. And that's how I kind of think of transhumanism in a way.
Okay.
I remember seeing an article about the idea of life being a simulation. I mean, that's like that's something that people talk about, but I saw like one article a few years ago that really talked about it and why like deja vu becomes a thing and why certain things are a thing. They're like, yeah, you could explain this with a simulation. We could be in some kind of simulation. I don't know if you saw the episode of Black Mirror. For those who watch Black Mirror, I won't spoil it, but like there was an episode I think called Hang the DJ where
yes, I love that episode.
Yeah, a dating scenario, and I don't want to spoil how things are, but it was just like very interesting about like, oh snap, the idea of life being like a series of like almost like probabilistic, like just endless simulations until you kind of get the right one. And I'm just like, wow. That's just like, okay, there we are. It's just so weird to think about, like, what is life actually?
Sure.
The multiverse, I mean, the fact is there are parallel universes. It's crazy how bad, like, 2020 was so insane that was, like, not even the most significant article, or it barely made a blimp in the news. It was like, oh, yeah, there's a parallel universe that runs backwards to ours. No big deal. And that was, like, a thing that was just there on Twitter, like...
Oh, yeah, like, where was that article? I feel like I heard that. Like, I know about the aliens thing, but...
I just remember, like, on Twitter, it was, like, featured news, and I was like, huh? And that was around the time people were talking about murder hornets and a lot of stuff where it's like, things are just like, oh, I guess this is a thing we're going to add to the Pandora's box. That is
Fresh CEO. Come on. Get out of here, Rocky.
Oh, man.
So, y'all know what he's talking about?
I don't know the reference.
Is it like Apple or something?
No, from Fresh and Fit.
Oh. No, I never actually.
See, the thing is, yeah, he's a loser.
Even after our whole conversation in our Discord on like whatever, like when we were talking about Fresh and Fit, I still never watched it, so I still don't like have that much. Like same thing with what's his name that just passed, which I guess that happened in between last stream and now, so that's definitely a hot topic for Kevin Samuels. Is that his name?
Yeah, Kevin Samuels.
I've never seen one of his episodes either, so I'm just like I can't get the context for why he was so reviled. Or
that's
one
why
of his episodes is like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
he does. I watch him I used to watch him every once in a while. Even Fresh and Fit, they do live streams. I watched them just to not to consume their content in a way, but just to see how it's produced, camera angles, microphones, all that, and then kind of like pick and choose what I like, because I do listen to them. I'll listen to them to see, okay, maybe they might be right about something, maybe they might be wrong about something, and I kind of like judge to see, okay, why are they wrong? And I kind of explain it to myself. I'm like, okay, well, they're wrong because of this thing. Like Kevin Samuels literally said that black women are on the opposite scale of beauty. Like they're not beautiful. And I was like, that's ridiculous for you to say on the internet. That's just wild. And he would continuously say stuff like that. And Fresh and Fit are on brand. They say the exact same thing. Why they only date uh, women that aren't from America. Why they only date exotic women. And it's kind of interesting to see how they think. And I just kind of want to, I always had this mentality where I want to study my oppositions to see how they move and why they move the way they do.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
You didn't miss anything. Trust me. If you're not, like they use StreamYard, they use Sony A6400s. They have 5 of them. They have a producer on set. They get about $10,000 to $15,000 a night with donations. So I watch them for that, to see how their content is being produced, how they have producers, how they have editors, camera switching angles. They use the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. They have just a lot of gear, and I study that. That's why I kind of watch them.
Wow, so they just used kind of like basic stuff, and they were
Basic. Even Kevin Samuels, like he's used a basic iPad for FaceTime live. He doesn't use anything crazy.
Makes it more reasonable in some ways.
Yeah.
Just the guy with his basic device talking to the masses.
True. I mean, if people are saying things that, but if people are saying things that, like, no, I don't blame you, B. Julie. I totally get that. If I guess, like, it doesn't matter, you know, like, like how you look online. It definitely, like, it really just depends on the message, because, you know, a lot of people are just working and going about their day, or like exercising, and they're listening to a podcast. So they're not even really like watching, you know, the people, you know, like trying to figure out like the camera, and, you know, it's just like, as long as they can hear you,
Yeah.
and that's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's low-key inspiring. You know, I mean, I don't want us to go into like a negative route.
Exactly. That's
Like
what I was saying.
It's like, why are all men trash? Men, speak right now. Why are you trash? No. Like,
I'm done.
all of you. But yeah, I never really listened
to that negative route.
Just go to the negative. It's like, why do my black women stay single? Black women, you got to listen to your black man. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going down that route.
I see these random videos, which I feel like it's like women who, I don't know, like they'll find some woman who says something that's controversial, and then you have a woman saying like, yeah, don't act like this, something, and then there'll be a man showing that clip being like, yes, listen to this woman. And I mean, not that there aren't valid things being said, but it definitely screamed kind of red pillish type thing, where like you have those men who want a certain woman, and they see women who kind of, I don't want to say that they're like bashing their own, but they like criticize certain things, and then the men will kind of like amplify those voices of those women and say, well, look, this is how y'all should be acting, I guess, kind of things. Like, I would get random recommendations for things like this, and I'm like, I don't remember joining the red pill community, but I'll see these random videos, and I'm like, I feel like I'm on like way on the outside of these things, because there's a lot of references to like different names and people who I don't fully recognize. But see me in a year, maybe I'll be out here. I'll be the new Kevin Samuels.
Hey, why not?
Someone's got to take this place.
Like, that's how you make money, like being like positive and uplifting. Like, unless you're like, what's his name? Jay Shetty or
Mm.
something like that. Like he's definitely positive and uplifting. And I mean, I guess there are positive uplifting people. Like
Mhm.
what's his name? He was in Jane the Virgin. His name is slipping me, but he has a podcast called Man Enough. And it's like a very like positive, I believe it's a podcast. Yeah, it's a podcast. I just see like clips on Instagram though. Like, but it's like a very like positive podcast about like masculinity. You know, so just dives deep into like masculinity, but it's not like you need to work out 8 times a week and like eat a whole bunch of protein. And if a woman takes interest in you, say fuck her, like fuck off, go away, woman. I don't know what my point is on the planet. But I love Ron's expression because he's like, why? It's like,
Why?
why? It's like,
Oh,
my
do you not want sex?
Oh, I just saw a great. Oh, anyway, I'll let you continue.
No, I was pretty much done. But like, I guess there are like positive. There are positive, like podcasts and like people who like are definitely like uplifting. But it's just like I feel like the get rich quick scheme of podcasting is definitely be like controversial and like angry and not really saying shit. Like the same, like I don't know, the same like pretty much like like heterosexual cisgendered garbage of just like, oh, if a woman has slept with too many guys, that's like a car with high mileage kind of bullshit. It's like,
that is ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous. I remember seeing like this one clip of Fresh and Fit, where
That sounds suspicious. That sounds suspicious.
she was just YouTubing. Like where like I didn't know what he was even talking about. It was like the light skinned dude.
Myron.
Oh, okay, yeah. And he was saying how like, oh, if I'm buying a Lamborghini, why would I buy a Lamborghini with 200,000 miles on it? And if like for the same price, I'm gonna buy a brand new Lamborghini. And I'm sitting there thinking he's talking about the car. Like legitimately, like, oh, it's like, oh, he's about to buy a Lamborghini. He's like, yeah, don't buy a used Lamborghini, especially with 200,000 miles. Lamborghinis aren't really supposed to run like that, like that far for like a luxury car. So like, I was like so confused. I was like happy for him. Like I'm so happy. Like it's like, oh, I'm so happy he can afford a Lamborghini. This is great. But like, yeah, whoever's trying to sell him a 200,000 mile Lamborghini, that's insane. Like, no, like especially if you can get the same one for the like. I literally thought he was talking about the fucking Lamborghini, and no, he was not. He was talking about women and like their body count. Essentially, I was like, are you fucking serious? You're still using the age old car mileage bullshit.
That reminds me of something I saw on Instagram, some podcast, and the comments were having a field day because there were so many. It was something about like body count, and someone in the comment was expressing how it was normal to have like upwards of 100, maybe more of a body count, and people were like, "All right, you're wilding." And this was a woman saying this, and people were like, "All right, you're wilding." And then she was like, "Sorry that y'all's lives were so boring. Like I enjoy having sex, whatever. And I guess they're trying to do the math on like you could have this many partners a year. You're well in your 30s. It's not crazy to think that you could have like 60 plus body count. But I don't know. The comments,
it's true.
The comments, man, were just killing me. I didn't even finish reading them all in that one thread, but I was like, yeah, I mean, especially if you're young. I mean, people obviously have the different standards. There are people who are waiting for marriage, absence, whatever. But like, if it's like open season, game on, then it's like everyone should be like, let's both be held to the same standard. Like both of y'all can like have whatever crazy high body count you have. I mean, I think it's not crazy. Because actually, this topic kind of came up when I mentioned one time some weeks ago. It was like a month ago, and there was like a church, Seventh-day Adventist, I have friends who are Seventh-day Adventists, and so I went to like this program about having sex before marriage and people's thoughts on it. And like the topic of body count came up, where it's like a woman and a man will sleep together, and the woman,
Bro,
what is going on?
the shrine of the games. That's hilarious.
I'm done. I can't.
Was that shirt? Lord, forgive me for these gains I'm about to receive.
Oh,
That shirt, it was the funniest thing.
Oh,
I was
man.
like, please like find this and buy it immediately.
That's so great. Lord, forgive me for these grants. I'm about to receive.
Oh man.
Oh, my
Oh
God.
boy, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. That's honestly that's a whole deep conversation about like what is it that you kind of perceive as like these superior traits, and it's like, okay, you want someone with 0 miles because XYZ, like let's unpack that, like why, but then you yourself, you might be, shoot, you might be the test driver, like you might be the world's most like experienced test driver, but then you want a car with 0 miles, so it's like you have like 1,000,000 miles on
The
you,
idea of equating a human being to a vehicle is crazy. It's like you're comparing her to an object. It's not even the same. It really shows a lack of empathy, and it really shows a lack of understanding about women. Like the fact that you treat her as an object, and watching their content, it definitely shows their women are just like a depreciating asset, something that you get young, and then when you're done with it, you're done. Get the new one. It's disgusting.
What I find like very oxymoronic about the whole women lose value depending on how many men they sleep with, and then I don't know if men necessarily either gain value or their value doesn't change. I don't know the quantifiable measure of this bullshit, but what I find weird is that like, okay, so women I guess just have like a set number, a set integer of what they represent. So let's say average woman, her number is she's worth 25 in value numbers. So once a man is introduced into her life, he can only decrease her value. So a man's like that, I feel like it's a fucked up thing to consider. A man's like, okay, so men's only purpose is to just decrease someone's value, is just to lower things. They're just like a negative asset into your life is a man.
That's
like that's really that, because like I know a ton of amazing men who've definitely added value to my life. So it's like, and I feel like that's a fucked up thing to actually look at your fellow man. It's like, oh, it's like what the fuck is your point then if you're just gonna lower my value if you come into my life? And like if I sleep with a woman, does my value grow? Am I worth more now since women have a positive value and men have a negative value?
Probably.
Come on, L. Come on. I see the logic, L.
There's a lot going on with dynamics, but I get what you're saying. It's got to establish some new theorems on this one.
Establish new theorem.
Yeah, I know Mish was saying that he wanted to have a podcast about some math stuff. So let's take notes. Let's figure out this law of diminishing returns that apparently people are bestowing. Not saying that it's actually true, but this law of it's like the economics of diminishing returns. That's actually that's horrible. But yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember I was on
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Interesting, man.
No, but whenever I hear about like the whole like value thing and add and negative, it's like that's stupid as hell. So, I love Mark always comes with like the whole like going back to the point where we're like so fucking off.
Yo.
Yeah, that
Chip.
is true.
At this point, it's in the world of it's in the red pill. That's where the chip is. So that's how they're actually getting the chip inside by exposing red pill to the masses. There we go. The secret is up, guys.
Listen to your stories.
False limiting beliefs, yeah. No,
No, I feel like you came on just now and actually didn't know.
yeah, my bad, Mark. So our episode is about so Gil posted in the Discord like a few days ago about microchipping and like I guess like the positive and negatives towards like microchipping in someone's body and if you agree or disagree with it. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about microchipping. At least that's the initial point of the topic.
The reason why I started dying is because of Chad's comment. This guy, he's really trying to win comment. He's trying to win comments out of the stream. Because this is actually so brilliant. It's not even funny. Because I always knew, like, okay, chip on their shoulder. I feel that was even a pun I considered making, but I didn't know how to make it. But it works so perfectly with the red pill community, where it's like you have this inherent belief that you're just like at a disadvantage, and women have all the cards, and blah blah blah. So they have a chip on the shoulder, and boom, there we go.
That's hilarious.
I love it. Yeah, there's a lot going on with these communities, and I kind of always just wanted. I was actually just because I was looking up something else, and then that led me to the R Seduction subreddit, which is like I have not really like gone deep into it, but like it's interesting, like that this just exists, and people are. That's not exactly red pill per se, because that's more of like technical. They talk very technical. It seems about. This exists, and like you can really get lost down these rabbit holes, and people can like listen to these things like it's gospel, which is a whole nother conversation.
No, I don't think the chip was in the vaccine.
No,
I don't care.
I think there were some people who probably thought the chip was in the vaccine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. There's definitely a lot of people who were talking about the vaccine in terms of like the whole mark of the beast and other stuff. Absolutely, there's a lot of people. I'm assuming that there was no chip in that vaccine, and hopefully my assumption is right.
As a man, it's like being exposed to radiation. What? I think I missed something.
Death Association.
That is crazy.
Oh jeez, Death Association.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I hear it so casual. Like I don't hear people like the first time I actually heard it, I was like, wow, was I 23? Like it's not a phrase I heard growing up, like body count and all that. Because
Same.
It was like I remember
recently
people were playing those kind of games where it's like, whatever, like not quite truth or dare, but things in that realm. And I would hear people say body count, and I understood from the context what they're talking about. But I was like, this is actually a thing. Okay, interesting. So I had to start joking, like, well, my body count's somewhere between -10 and 5. So body count, well, I might have discovered it. So I don't know.
I always say, like, if a guy has the audacity to ask me, I always say, it's whatever number you're comfortable with. Like, whatever that's what it is. Whatever number you find to be acceptable, that's what it is. That's. He was like, oh, so 3. I'm like, sure. It's like 17. That's great. Whatever that number is. Like 37. Cool. Whatever. Like whatever you like. That's what it is.
That's older than how old I am, but all right. Yep, we're going with it.
It's just like, I don't know. Like I used to care once upon a time, and then I was like, there's no point in fucking caring. Really.
They took away your count.
Like we love you, B. Julia. We get it. Yeah,
Oh,
YouTube
I
is
see. This makes a lot of sense too, because I think the comments weren't completely matching up with where we are. So
right.
there's
Yeah, like YouTube is, I don't know, like what is right, like a 5-7 second delay. I think it's kind of big. I know that Twitch is not as big of a delay though. I think Twitch is the
Twitch is so
fastest.
much better.
Yeah, it took away
Yeah.
your account, Toby.
$1,200 for a once in a lifetime pandemic. Oh, COVID's body count definitely is the highest. COVID's really a hoe because how do you have like 1 million body count just in the U.S. alone? I want to say we hit that milestone. Sorry, guys, we're still continuing effed up jokes from last month. There's no borders when it comes to not no borders. There are definitely certain things we should not.
Oh, snap. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Welcome to the
Oh,
Oh, but
Melanated
Toby,
Show,
do you
where-
see any benefits to the chip at all?
So I did see some interesting conversation about that. Like you could, especially for people who need more help, check like medical, like people who need certain medical attention, certain neurological, differences. Having a chip could help, either give attention and medicine to these folks, or even like I know this is gonna sound scary, but data collection to better understand maybe why some people have certain like characteristics that aren't fully explained just by genetics alone, right? So I definitely think that there could be benefits. It's just like a huge thing with privacy and like, are you willing to like let certain, that have that invasion in you and they can read certain metrics about you? And that's a lot, but like you could get a lot of gain, a lot of medical advances, especially. I would say that's like probably one of the biggest benefits of the chip is advancing science. Again, I know it's not a great trope because it's like your scientists didn't stop to think that your scientists are so preoccupied with with if they could that they didn't stop to think about whether they should or whatever the quote from Jurassic Park is. But I mean, shoot. The other thing about the chip is like, what can you do with it? Is it just reading our information, or can you actually do some kind of like signal? Like, can you actually have output? That's problematic, right? Are we about to turn people into human ventriloquists? Now that might be a little too sci-fi, but
No, I mean it's accurate though. Like, I mean that's already what the fuck is happening. Like Trump was just saying fake news. Now everybody fucking says fake news.
Yep.
Like people say that, like they like to call other people like sheep. I don't think people are sheep. I think people are just parrots. If you after you hear the same thing over and over again, you start to go like, fake news.
It's a
They're
group
so the
think.
vote.
I always used to call it group think. Like one person thinks one thing, and then the rest of the group starts thinking that same thing.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's like evolution or just like how we're conditioned, like in some ways, right? Where you want to feel protected by kind of adopting this majority opinion, or I don't know. But it definitely, obviously, can go like really far to the point where you're not even processing your own thoughts very well. But you're just kind of letting other people dictate it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. If
I
there's
just
anything
video about the chip, to be honest, and get like a better perspective. But go ahead.
If there's anything that Amazon has taught us, like especially like their UX, their user experience, is that people don't like to think.
Yeah.
Like they want things as easy as possible. So, I mean that's why like people like what's his name, Kofi, the guy who kind of like mimes things, or like he's like that dark skinned black dude. I think he's like Italian. Actually, he doesn't say any words, but like you see like a video and then he kind of reacts to the video without saying anything, or like
Yeah.
here's like the easy
TikToker.
way to do. Yeah, the TikToker, exactly. I forgot his name's like Kobe or Kofi. So I was watching the YouTubers Colin and Samir, and Colin and Samir is like a channel that's like pretty much about
awesome.
content creators. Yeah. And they were talking about this TikToker, Kofi or Kobe, I can't remember his name. And how, they're essentially saying like, oh, people don't want to think. They want Kofi to think about this and react to it instead of me doing it. Exactly.
That's
It's
what he
like
does.
exactly. Let's have him do it. Like this is more entertaining. So it's like, oh, instead of me figuring out what I need to buy for my brother's birthday that Google for some reason fucking knows, Google will just tell me what my brother might like or something like that. And you know, it's just like, you know, kind of insane how you know, like how we could nah, I'm just feeling shitty because like today's actually my nephew's birthday and I didn't get a chance to call him. I did like send a text to my sister's mom though, so it's not the worst, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, cool. You know,
I
I've seen
still
this.
love you, buddy. Fuck you. Oh, Kabi. Thank you. That's his name, Kabi.
Okay, I have. Okay, you know what? I think I have seen this. Okay, yeah, I think on Instagram I recently saw him. I don't remember at all what the video that I saw or videos that I saw were, but yeah, there was something that went like really viral like a few months ago that everyone was like sharing. I'm gonna have to go down like search and find. Now there was something that I think Liz had asked. I'm gonna scroll back up because it was something that I was about to start talking about. Like it was something about like how like okay, maybe these companies can't read our thoughts, but apparently there are ways that you can read facial expressions and do like a lot of data, like probably like some kind of data mining, machine learning type stuff to be able to map what facial expressions look like to certain emotions, and how people could use this to put like scanners and billboards so that way they could kind of see a change in your face and recognize the emotion from that and use that to build a better profile. This was about emotional profiles for voters, which is like crazy. Kind of because already there are so many data points on people about like what might make you susceptible to what message to vote, but they were trying to like put in emotional data harvesting as part of that, which sounds bad, but they actually were. I think there was an article that the article was also trying to find a solution to how you can make things better with campaigning and with some other things, and not just go into complete dystopia with it. But that is definitely an interesting route. I mean, again, it's a little uncomfortable because it's like our things just like facial recognizing us, looking at our emotions, and then using that to somehow tell these companies what we might be interested in because we got so excited when like I think I saw something about Honda, like where you maybe like you talk to a Honda representative or you have some encounter with Honda and somehow like there's a billboard that has Honda on it, they read your face, and then there's like all these like digital breadcrumbs that are given to you that kind of direct how you act, and then by the end of the day you're like ready to buy a Honda with an even like worse deal than you might have accepted because you had all these emotional triggers get you where you want. And I was like, huh? Like if I could find the article, I'll share it because it was kind of trippy the way it was describing how companies could use this like emotional reading to set certain like things in motion. That's a lot of coordination though, like starting to make billboards appear and then like it's like oh my god. I don't know if any of y'all have read Artemis Fowl, the boy genius from I think Dublin, Ireland. And there's like magical creatures. But there was like one book where Artemis was using some kind of subliminal messaging. He really did not have the upper hand in the situation, but he was able to like force a negotiation meeting to happen somewhere where he was able to get the upper hand. And I was like, there's no way this is real. Like people can do certain things to put certain thoughts in your head so that you kind of get what you want. But
that's marketing. That's just 100% marketing, like Mad Men or actually, I'll tell you how I use that and for my marketing when it comes to like content creating and like consultations. Like for example, if I have a really big client and I want them to do a specific thing in the next project, I would hint it. I would show just how that particular gear would work for this project, they'll be super opposed to it. So what I'll end up doing is just slowly just showing podcasts or content creators using this particular setup or suit or doing whatever I wanted them to do, and then I'll let them come up with the idea. Hey, I think I'll wear a suit for this next episode. Oh, really? Oh, that's great. It's all about just like making it feel like it's their idea in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mad Men, I watched Mad Men, which is a show about marketing that used to be on AMC. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, it was set back in like the 60s.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's all about marketing. It's all about just uh, selling stuff to people that they don't know that they need yet.
Mhm.
And because people are so opposed to the idea of sales, like they would think that, oh, I'm just getting a bad deal. You're just trying to make money. You actually need these beans, so because you need to eat. So how can I sell you these refried beans in the best way possible and make it your idea?
I mean, the thing about
Interesting.
marketing is like you go to a grocery store
That was
and
a
you
good
want
movie.
it was and you want to buy like a type of mustard. There's not just one brand of mustard. There's several different brands of mustard, but like, why are you going to buy that particular brand of mustard? It might have been from ads you've seen. It could have been like friend recommendation. It could have been, you saw some ad on Facebook and it just subconsciously implanted on your brain. And you're like, oh, let me get Heinz mustard with, like Heinz spicy mustard because that's just what you need. Mustard council.
The mustard counts.
But it's true, like how like what marketing does, and sometimes it could be like a really slow play, and sometimes it could be super fast and instantaneous. What I noticed, because for like the longest time I was looking for a car, and then like I finally decided on a Honda Accord, and I was trying to find like like what year and like what like trim and all that. I initially wanted a red sports Honda, like the sport Honda Accord red around like 2017 to 2019 or something like that. But of course, cars were mad expensive and still are. But I noticed like I would look at like I'd go to like Carvana just to see the prices and everything. And on Hulu, like during their ads, they would show a red sport Honda Accord on their Carvana ad on Hulu. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, is that just a coincidence?
That's
Like, like the same, like around like the same year, the same body type, it wasn't like a 2015 or, like that body type Honda Accord Sport. It was the same color that I want, red. They could have done black. They could have done like silver or something. They didn't have to do the sport trim. It was just like, this is odd as hell and kind of freaky. I did end up getting a Honda Accord. It wasn't a sport, unfortunately, but but it was just like, okay, like all I keep seeing everywhere all the time is fucking Honda Accords.
Wow.
But it was just,
Wow.
yeah, I was, it could have been a blue Honda. No, they picked red. Like, that's weird. But the same mode is.
It sounds like it really went according to plan.
Hey.
Yeah.
I picked the Accord because it's the only car that's ever spoken in the Bible. Jesus. What is it? Like Jesus didn't speak on his own accord. Like, yes.
Oh my
I'm
god.
done. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
So So
Yeah.
I shouldn't have spoken about my own accord.
But I do find if I'm looking for a car, like right now, I'm shopping for a truck. I see this truck everywhere.
Mm.
Like anytime I'm looking for anything, I just see it everywhere. And this truck, it's at every light, it's at every parking lot that I go to, and it's like, why weren't you there before? Like, what's going on here? Like, maybe we're all infected with this chip or something already, and we're being sold because we want to see more of this truck or more of this Honda Accord. It's just so weird.
And body count.
And body count.
Just a
Body
playoff.
count and body. It was a match made in heaven. What can I say?
Oh my gosh.
Like, you had 2019, I had 2019.
Not matching with you, but just like the car that you were looking for and the car that were in the ad matched.
That's hilarious.
I know, I'm kidding.
No, your joke was good too. But I was like, wait a second. That's different. Listen, I'm all for sexual freedom, but if that's different to get into like actual years, I don't even know like the math behind how that could be possible. If
Well,
you're
like,
going to count as a year,
when especially like on a website like Carvana, like it would they could pick like the year and like I guess like from like the types that I was clicking on, because I think like I want to say it's from 2018, no 2017 to like 2022 maybe, like it's the same body trim, it's like the same body style.
Mhm.
So I don't know what year the person picked on the Carvana ad on Hulu, but it was like the same body, like, so it was like the same, like, yeah, because like I want to say it's from like 2003 to 2007 Honda Accords were the same, so like the parts were the same on the inside, so you can like kind of swap a bit. Maybe like the tail lights might be a little different, but it was practically the same car, the same thing. Like it, just like that chunk of time, like between that range, it's the same. So it was just unreal to see like the exact fucking car that I'm looking for, like show up, the same color too. I was like, what in the hell? It was really freaky because they could have just picked any car. It could have been a Benz, it could have been a Camry. It's like, nope, Honda Accord.
could have been a Chad. Could have been anything.
I'm done what you told me.
I'm sorry. I saw the opportunity and I had to.
We made it to the league. Yeah.
Also, oh my god, Chad's comment with the "Who wins, you decide." Very underrated because that's epic rap battles of history, and oh my god. Oh man, that used to be my lifeblood. Speaking of cars, I need to get a new one, so I'm more than excited to hear about all the recommendations of cars.
What are you trying to get into?
Well, I had a Honda Civic, which it worked for me, but like I probably am gonna get a bigger car. Like I didn't think I wanted an SUV because it screams family and parents. No offense to anyone who has a family or is married, but I think maybe it is best, especially in New England.
Check out the Ford Maverick. It's a small truck. It's really nice. And it's starting at $19,000. It just came out last year.
Okay, Ford Maverick.
Yeah.
Here, I know. Like I've just been so fixated. Like I think actually there were some Ford cars because I figured I'm either gonna go with what I know, which is Honda or Toyota. Toyota are the cars I grew up with. Like that's how I learned to drive. Honda's that first one I actually bought. and so I figured those two brands would be my go-to. But when I was looking up like hybrids, or like certain EVs, I think I actually saw some kind of Ford. I don't know if it's produced anymore. It might have been, what's the word?
The Ford Maverick is a hybrid, 41
Oh.
gallons per mile.
Oh snap! Okay.
Yeah, it's a truck.
Mhm.
Yeah. Super cool. SUV screen bad and bougie. Maybe.
Hmm.
Remember the car. Dang. I am broaden my horizons a little bit here. And I need a microchip.
Wow.
A microchip in the car since I'm not going to put one in my body just yet.
Yeah, so Elizabeth, they took the name Maverick, the Ford Maverick, and they made it into a truck now. That's crazy that y'all had a Ford Maverick car back in the day. That's dope.
Yeah, that's actually
Mhm.
real history right there.
Oh yeah, but then again, you know, the Maverick, it looks nice. It looks nice because I know me and the missus were talking, and she was like, "So we're gonna get that truck," because I'm like, man, the next car I'm gonna buy is gonna probably be a Ram 1500. That'll probably be the next car I'm gonna get, the Ram 1500.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if I could get it with the Hemi, cool, I'm sold. And then again, I like the Ram 2500 is the bigger truck, like, but it has some models they have the Cummins turbo diesel in it, and I'm like, I like that too as well. She's like, really? I'm like, oh yeah. So I know the next car I'm gonna get is gonna be a Ram. It's gonna be a Ram truck. Just deciding between the two, the 1500 and 2500. I don't know yet.
Yeah, right now it's the Toyota Tacoma, which is like a reliable truck.
Mhm.
But my only issue is I'm so picky. I have to get a manual transmission because I cannot drive anything that's not stick. Pause.
Mm.
I was
yeah, you have to catch yourself.
I only drove stick once. We're gonna pre-pause this one, but my friends, I was a high school friend. It was like I was a sophomore in college, and that summer there was an internship. My high school's friend's dad got me basically the internship, and one time when we were driving to work, he let me. I was in the passenger seat, and he let me drive the stick, and I was, I was very cautious of this. No worries, guys. I was 19 or 20, so no weird illegal things happening. No, but it was just because like I was like I don't think this is a good idea because he was like telling me to change gears as we were going, and I was like I mean I had seen him do it a bunch, but I was like this seems like not great. I was just like not sure what I was doing, but it worked. It wasn't like a major highway, but still I was like
That's pretty bad. That's dangerous.
You're scared. You're scared, and I was like I'm trying. I'm trying. It's not working.
That's pretty dangerous.
I was like, I don't know if this should happen because, like, basically it was in too low of a gear. And I guess I forget, like, there's two things that happen. If you're too low of a gear and you're trying to go higher, that's bad. And then, like, higher speed. And then if you're really high speed, no, if you're going lower speed and you're in high gear, that's also, I think that's where your car stalls. But both ways are pretty bad. I was like, I couldn't do this. And then you have another pedal for the shift. I mean, I guess you fuel the car, but I don't know if I need to fuel the car that much. I don't know. That's
I get that.
So Chad, it's a stick shift manual, but I like to call it standard because that's what a standard car is. Something manual. So gotta keep it regular over here. I love driving manual. It's so fun. All my cars since my first car have been manual. So
nice. No, that's cool though. Consistency and it's a skill.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I just saw Chad's comment. SUV screams, I might get manslaughter, but I'm not getting hurt. Honestly though, and that's really what's important. if I had an SUV, maybe my car wouldn't have gotten totaled 2 months ago. But anyway, I'm not salty. So,
To Rocky's comment.
mega cab. I don't know. I'm not good enough with certain cars to know. It's partly what I'm trying to get a little better at.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, once you decide to go truck shopping, and he's like, "What is a mega cab?" Oh, they're gonna show you. Oh, you want a mega cab? Oh, come here. Let me show you this mega cab right here, Toby. Like, oh, this is a mega cab. Like, oh, I get it. It's bigger. Like, yeah. That's all. Just the part where you're riding is just bigger, more spacious. Because most pickup trucks, when you get inside of it, they're not big at all. You can barely fit like 4 people comfortably. But most pickup trucks nowadays, they have the extended cab where it's roomier. So you could probably fit like 4 to 5 grown-ups comfortably and still have leg room for each one comfortably.
Interesting. Yeah, I never heard of the term mega cab before. So that's really interesting. I'm gonna have to look up Ram mega cab, yeah. God damn.
Ooh.
Yeah, I recently became a truck person simply because, like, why not?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Actually, though, why not? I actually rode in a pickup truck. It was an Uber. I was on Martha's Vineyard. It was pandemic times. So at this point, I guess anything was going. Like 20. This was Martha's Vineyard Labor Day weekend. We were taking an Uber from the beach back to like our rental, our vacation rental, and like I forget how many of us were going, but it was probably 6. So like the girls rode inside, and 3 of us guys just sat in the back in the pickup truck. I was like, I didn't even know you could do this. I don't know if this is legal, but I'm here for Uber. And I was like, I don't know though if I would want to like own one. Like, I don't know, being liable for things in the back. I mean, that's maybe a silly concern. I don't know. It was just very different. Like, it's not something I've had to worry about, right? Like having a truck and everything that comes with it. But it'll be interesting to drive one, you know.
Oh yeah. No, Liz's point right here.
A few different cars. The first time I drove a Mini, there's many things you need a truck for.
True.
Like carrying a bunch of chips.
Yes.
There you go.
That's a lot of chips, but I'm actually here for that many chips. That you need a truck to carry it, yes.
Right.
And if I get a chip, it better connect to my car. That's one thing. I'm not going to lose my car ever again. My car is going to come to me. Like I think Audi or there's some commercial like 5 years ago, or some years ago that was like a car that could like park itself in like a parking garage and it could like come
Tesla?
out to you. You said what's that?
Well, the Tesla does it. It's been doing that for like years now.
I'm sure the Tesla has been doing everything. Tesla. That's you got Tesla money? If I could drive a Tesla, oh my god, I would get a Tesla because the range is actually high.
If you could get a Tesla, you get a Tesla.
If I could get a Tesla,
well, Subaru is coming out with a new electric car that's pretty affordable.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Hyundai has one. Hyundai has an SUV called the Ioniq.
Oh yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, those are really nice.
There was a really I think it was the Nissan Leaf, very affordable EV though. I don't think it has the best metrics, but like the Nissan Leaf, when I looked up, it was like $35,000, and I was like, okay, this is in line with like other cars that I've seen.
Right.
But I don't think the range was great. I don't remember the other things. But if you just want an EV and you have the accessibility of like charging stations, then why not? The Ioniq looked like a really good car, like one of the best new EVs, but price.
The beautiful thing about the Ioniq is that the battery itself, it's a little bit smaller, so it doesn't hold a long charge, but it charges faster than a Tesla.
Oh.
So the Tesla has a larger battery, but the Ionic charges way faster. I think like 30 minutes, you're getting like 40 to 50% versus the
Really?
Tesla where it's a little bit longer. So,
Oh shit, that's a game changer.
yeah.
That's
I
a
don't
legit.
know.
That's like
Charge this car.
that's like you could have like gas stations with like electric chargers at that point.
Well,
You could just
Wawa does. Every Wawa has, well, the Wawa by my house has a charger station. So,
okay. I gotta check again. I don't think I've seen
yeah.
that.
Yeah, they have 2 charger super stations, so you can charge your Tesla there.
Okay, that's okay. Cool. Cause like that was like a big thing. That and also I couldn't afford it. It was like forgetting a Tesla, because it's like I can't get like a charger at my home because like I'm not like in a single family home, you know. So I was like, well, how would I charge this thing and like where? Because like I don't even know. Actually, I never really looked it up. But like, how long does it take for like a Tesla to charge?
So
Like,
full charge, like on a supercharger, would probably take like 6 to 7 hours. But you probably just want to just charge it for like, I don't know, 4 to 5 hours. You know, trickle charge it, go home, park it. But you do lose a bit charge when you just leave it not plugged in. It's called like a phantom discharge.
Oh.
So I would just charge it fully for a week to get like 300 to 255 mile range. And that's more than enough for me for like a couple weeks.
Right. True. And that's one of the things I do like about it.
Right, because you get much more mile. Wait, that's the range though.
Yeah, like on a
It
full
depends.
battery.
Yeah, it depends on the variant that you get. You get one that might be 255, might get a 400, might get a 300. So it really depends on the range.
Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wawa. That's something that like I took for granted growing up in Maryland, but then apparently like I found out like there's a whole mind blowing thing where like only 5 states have a Wawa or 6 states. I was like, huh? This is like, what are you talking about? It's a Wawa. This is something that everyone should know. And then apparently nope. Same thing with Royal Farms. I think Wawa might have more. Royal Farms, I think, was the one that like only exists in like 5 states.
Well, Wawa just came to Florida, well, South Florida, like the past 3 to 4 years, I think.
Right. Yeah. South. Like it's always been in Orlando, from what I hear. And like I've had friends in Orlando who always talk about Wawa. So I know it's been in Central Florida for a really long time, but yeah, it only just recently came to South Florida. So I was excited when it came because I was like, ooh, I get to know what all this Wawa is about.
There you go.
I like it because you get free air in your tires. We have like, you know, it's nice in there.
Nice.
6 states in DC, crazy.
For Wawa?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Only 6 states. And it skips a bunch. It's like you got Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, DC. Okay, that's one cluster. They're all literally touching each other. And then Florida. What happened to the Carolinas? What happened to Georgia?
It's like, yeah, we can't we can't.
Yeah, New England also F them, I guess. And then
they can walk.
Royal Farms. You said they what you say?
They can walk.
Oh no. Royal Farms is only existing in those basically same states, except West Virginia is there instead of Florida. And Delaware. They added Delaware. No. Whew. It's just so funny looking at these convenience stores because it's like, and then Speedway is something I never heard of until I came to New York and then Mass.
Texaco?
Yeah, I've heard of Texaco, but I don't think I've been to one.
I forgot about Texaco. I haven't seen one in a while.
I think they all got like bought out and turned to like BPs or something.
Oh, BP.
Okay.
I don't know. Something about BP is just like I just feel like I shouldn't support y'all. Like y'all are too big. too corporate and too
The
expensive.
thing about BP, they use that green, eco-friendly vibe. It's all fake.
I imagine. Exxon does the same thing, right? Like, well, maybe Exxon actually puts their money where their mouth is, but I don't know. Like, all these
Cumberland
companies.
Farms. I like Cumberland Farms.
I haven't used them yet, but they opened up a new one sort of near me, so I might check that out.
I use Cumberland Farms because of this app. It's called SmartPay. So if you're ever in a situation where they tell you that you have to pay inside because of a hurricane or whatever the case is, you can actually just pull up to the pump and pay with your phone. And you save 10 cents. It's pretty dope.
Okay.
Wow,
There you go.
that is pretty nice. I'll save anything, but I can. Like 10 cents per gallon. I was like, oh. Now I'm like, oh yes, please, give me the 10 cents. Like I've used Get Upside to get cash back on gas, and that thing has saved my life.
Oil companies aren't our friends.
No, Chad, I'm sorry.
Oh,
So we had to break this to you, Chad.
And here I was. I mean, BPM sure. That's the
Elizabeth,
thing.
I think it's subjective. Because I like to think that I run better on coffee, but I can run just as better on water because it's natural.
I think we're supposed to run on Dunkin', so we're supposed to just, eat donuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That whole thing. I actually didn't really have Dunkins that much, but it's very popular here in New England, like ridiculously popular. And then when I really started eating Dunkins a lot when I was in New York, oh god, those croissant sandwiches, I think it's like get $5, and I was just like, oh, I shouldn't be indulging like this, but here I am. I will run on Dunkins, not for the coffee, but for the sandwiches, and I'm not going to be ashamed. I
solely run on coffee.
I'll run on tea, but I don't really need the caffeine. So I usually drink herbal tea. I don't know, it's not to be a tea snob, but there's just so many benefits of tea. Like I can drink coffee, it's fine. I don't mind the taste, but I don't know. If my body's not used to it, I'm not gonna force it to be.
Children tears.
Wait, what?
Oh man.
So this water will save my life.
I don't even know what I run on, just the fact that I have to live every day, I guess.
Dual core processors and
it's like, oh, my eyes wake up. I'm like, okay, I gotta live. I gotta exist. Oh man!
I don't know if that was a Charlie Sheen reference or.
Not quite. It's like not quite. It's just like, all right, another day. I guess that sounds a little nihilistic, but I don't know what I run on. Like,
oh man!
I don't know, to be hotter than I was yesterday, I guess.
1 degree hotter.
Yeah.
That is a very
What do I run on?
worthy protein.
In the hopes of finding
protein.
Oh man!
My God.
There you are, Toby. That's what you run on.
This is what the smooth dark chocolate is for. It's the whey protein, brotin. Gotta add some chocolate so it's digestible.
Yeah, right. Celebrity. Have you ever watched Agretzko on Netflix? There's this kangaroo who all they say is protein, but if you watch the Japanese version, it's like he goes like protein. So I keep hearing him protein with the piano. I just keep hearing him. Children's tears. That's great.
This is why I literally was just like, I lost it because I knew my AP Link teacher made us watch Idiocracy. Well, that's a whole different conversation. I was just like, what is happening right now?
Everything is happening right now. What is not happening right now?
I know. No, Liz, my beer isn't ready yet. It'll be ready probably like in like a month from now.
Did you say
Like,
Juneteenth?
Yeah, that's when it's gonna be like totally done. Yeah, like bottled, and it's gonna be carbonated in the bottle and everything. So it should be like it just happened to be that way. I wasn't making a specific Juneteenth beer in
No.
March.
It's okay. Just put your black power fist up,
Mhm.
and just go for it. Everything right now.
Yeah, it's like make a Belgian ale. It's like
I've low key been doing that a lot at work lately. Just like seeing random black dudes and be like, "Hey, what's up, man? What's up, brother?" And just seeing how they react, and they kind of do a wave, and I'm like, "Are you saluting Hitler when you do that?" Hey,
oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
White supremacy lies deep. It's like no. We gotta we gotta do the opposite. The complete opposite in every way to the Black Power Fist.
Letterkenny, what is that?
It's like a show. I've never watched it, but I know it's like hella popular.
Oh, I've seen that. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's super funny. It's weird funny.
Yeah, which I like. Oh man.
You ever seen Neon Joe? Anybody?
I don't think I've heard of it. Neon Joe?
Neon Joe, Werewolf Hunter. Hilarious. Is that same quirky comedy as Letterkenny.
No, I've never heard of Neon Joe. I do
Neon
like
Joe.
the quick writing, like quick wittiness shows.
Yeah, the thing about Neon Joe is all random. It's like the story just doesn't make sense and it's hilarious. I just kind of feel like they just get on set and just start filming. It's super funny.
But unfortunately, y'all, we're gonna have to wrap this stream up. It's always the hardest time of any stream because we're all having a great time with you all. But as always, midnight comes inevitably.
Yes.
And we got bills to pay and we have to go to work tomorrow. And like we're not young anymore, so we can't stay up till 4 a.m. and party.
Well,
Then go to work. Well, you do, Toby, but you shouldn't be.
no, I can't. Like last night. Well, that's fine. I'll save it for my closing remarks.
What are your closing remarks?
Just
Toby, we're closing right now.
yeah.
I mean, you walked
we're about
right
to do a
into
square,
that.
circle the square, or whatever they say in the corporate world.
You gotta circle the
Let's
square.
circle the square. Now, this has been a great conversation, even though I've had some moving success, I guess, now, but difficulties for a while. So now I'm in. And that's just why I came out a bit late. But yeah, I was glad to be part of the conversation as I could be. Great to have guest Guil over here. I saw Coffee in concert last night, which was amazing. Along with some other opening acts. And yeah, life was good.
Toby After Dark. Okay.
Toby After Dark.
So, yeah.
Demon time, Toby.
I need to
Jeez.
live stream. Apparently, there used to be a thing. People would be streaming during the pandemic, and it was like demon time. I think that's actually where the term demon time started to come from. Was like those late night streams. I forgot who did them. Some celebrity or celebrities.
But thanks y'all for having me today. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming, for taking the time out, and for bringing on this really awesome, interesting, low-key scary topic.
Oh man.
Yeah. So Alpha Male Toby, the Love Guru.
Oh God.
I'd listen to that podcast or watch that TikTok.
I'm dead.
High value man.
High value men stream.
This came up over the weekend with some friends. The two women friends, and they mentioned like unprovoked high value man or high value woman, and I was like, oh my God! I was like, this is too funny, y'all. Because
I think they were watching Kevin Samuels.
But that's the thing. We hadn't even come up with that. We hadn't talked about that. And that was, of course, this was Saturday, so that was a few days, if not one day after he passed. So it was like,
oh, okay.
The fact that it was unprovoked mention just because they were talking about personal like things in their life and whatever, man. And they mentioned the concept of high value man, or they were looking for a high value woman. And I was like, this is so funny because guess who just died? And guess what we were just talking about like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. God, time has passed. But anyway. High value man loading. Watch out for your boy. Drop in the links. And I'm gonna teach y'all how to do the things like I do, I guess.
I mean, have women come over and cook for you. That's definitely a thing that men need to know how to do.
Oh
I mean, you have a certain set of skills, Toby.
Apparently, and I just talked to one friend because she made some amazing. I think she's Cape Verdean, so. Okay. They have a lot of Portuguese influence, whatever. And so just this food looked amazing. I was like, yo, I'll provide the wine and you need to like provide the food. And she was like, yeah, I'll get some ingredients and take them to your house and we can cook. I'm like, bet. And I'm just like, I don't know how I did that. It wasn't even some crazy like thing that I would like even mention in general or like make a big deal. But apparently this is just still, I can't tell people how to do this because I don't know myself.
Well,
I don't know if y'all saw Doctor Strange. I don't want to spoil, but I did see it on Saturday.
Saw it. It was amazing.
I came a little bit late, but like,
hey yo, come on, bro.
I was invited like not even an hour before the movie. That was damn out. It was a lot going on. I was like, y'all really invited me after I moved out of this hotel, and I'm like still getting oriented. But I liked it. But someone had a power, and they didn't know how to control it until they could. And so I'm still on the journey of knowing how to control this. And when I figure out how to do it, then I'll use it for the good. Now that's what my new roommate's been saying. That we're good friends. I have a woman roommate, and she was saying I'm for the streets, and I'm like, maybe I am.
Yeah, maybe.
Ron's just like,
maybe.
Yes.
Honestly,
no words.
I think next week's topic should be about love and Toby's skills and high value men, because hey, why not? This could be just like a sneak peek for next week. I mean, and for any of you guys who are watching, we're doing this all month to celebrate our 2 years, being a YouTube channel for streaming. So if any of you guys want to, come join us next week and, chat it up, get to, meet Toby firsthand, and, hopefully some of his skills will rub off on you. This will be a great opportunity.
If we had chips, we wouldn't just need to rub off with vibes. I could just wavelength and beam what's going on. And then y'all could
Oh,
take that pattern of bits and translate it to yourself, however it's gonna happen.
Ooh, Rocky! I saw what you did. I saw what you did right there. I see that.
I'm with it. I mean, again, y'all are like the co-captains of this ship this month, so
Okay, Toby.
they are the guests. Y'all run this. You're the captain now. This stream is not possible without our viewers like you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Step one, be
This is
fashionably
true.
late. Step two, be invited an hour before a thing happens.
Yes. That's a power move. You gotta like invite someone and say like, "All right, girl, come to my place in an hour," and then just show up 40 minutes late to your own apartment. By the way, disclaimer: this advice, if something backfires, I am not legally liable for any of this, any claims and things that are pursued against you. Just letting you know.
I do like the test of Toby the Smooth. I love it.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
That's 3.
Did you ever hear the tale of Toby
Wait a
the
minute.
Smooth?
Where's
We also
step two?
Step 2 is
Where's
just
step two?
Well, I don't know what is step 2. Be attractive.
Oh well, I guess we're still working. No, we're not self-deprecating in 2022. It's fine. I'll hold that thought to myself. Am I an attorney? Not yet.
He's for the streets. He's a
It's
street
on the
attorney.
streets. No,
I mean, I could be an attorney. I just don't think you're gonna like the outcome.
it's a street attorney.
Street attorney.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm
So is this what we want to do next week?
Yeah.
done. Love it, hip hop.
Demon
Let's go.
time with Toby.
Oh God,
There
I don't
we
know
go.
about most of this.
There you go. That's even better.
Demon
That's
time with
even
Toby.
better.
Lord. I mean, I'm here for it.
The stream will start at 9, but Toby will start at 9:30.
I'm done. I'm done. Bird law.
Oh,
Oh, man.
alrighty, y'all. So you know what's happening next week. I'm calling it. I'm making it official. So tune in next week, and you'll see. You'll get to hear from the one, the only Toby the Smooth.
Well, at least I got my name.
Yes. Irish goodbyes. I know it's hard to say goodbye. We love each other so much. So yeah, if you guys want to join us next week, definitely let us know. You can DM Ron, Toby, or myself in the Discord, and we'll let you know if we could definitely bring you on. We'll be so happy to have you all on.
Yes.
So with that said, I'm sorry, but it's now May 11th, and it's time for us to go for reals this time.
Yeah. Oh, be Julia. What time in?
So with that said, good night.
Toby Samuels, I'm done.
I know Toby said